I had been thinking about cutting my hair because I was looking at old pictures. So I uploaded a picture of myself to ChatGPT, and it basically told me that because of my face shape, because of my fine hair, basically it said I had thin hair, and my long neck, that I would look best with shoulder length or like collarbone hair, which is the length that I was gonna cut it anyways. So I literally went in my bathroom that next morning and I cut my hair. One of the main things on my list today is to get my Tahoe washed. So I'm hoping there's not a lot of people at the car wash. If there is, I might just bring it back home and do it. But I have my coffee smoothie, I have my list. Let's go be productive. Even though we don't want to be, because we're so tired because it's Monday and we have kids and we're moms and we just want to go back to bed. But we can't. All of the car washes were way too busy and I don't feel like dealing with people today, so I'm just gonna do it at home. Even though it's like 30 degrees. Why do I do these things to myself? I don't know. I just got a letter from the high school. I'm not ready. Okay, I need to like process this for a second. Holy, like I'm just a girl. How do I have a child in high school almost? No. All right, guys, it is time to get productive, get motivated, even though we do not want to, but we have to because we are moms. I have basically a mental checklist of just like day-to-day house things, and it always includes dishes. A lot of you know that I am constantly baking and making like muffins and, you know, like snacky stuff for my kids, for my family. And so there are always dishes in the sink. Sometimes I will leave them until dinner time, just depending on how I'm feeling, but there's always dishes to be done. I actually saw this lady take the bowl with soapy water, and so instead of filling up your sink with soapy water, I hate washing dishes like that, she took like a bowl with soapy water and then used that to like dip into to wash the dishes. And so that's how I've been doing it, and it's worked great. But I am moving into the pantry. I just get this itch sometimes to just, you know, rearrange everything and move stuff around. I don't know if you feel like that too, but it drives my family nuts sometimes, especially when I'm like totally switching stuff around. I'm like, just let me do it, please. I need to do it. I need to I like the change. I like to switch things up. And also a lot of these containers and stuff that hold like my sprinkles and like baking stuff. What's that stuff called? Food coloring. Oh my gosh, my mind went blank. A lot of that stuff, these containers needed to be cleaned out anyways and kind of gone through. So before I do my like big spring deep clean, I kind of just needed to go room by room and just kind of do a little wipe down of things. So I wanted the pantry to kind of be a little bit more organized. So I went shelf by shelf and I pulled out all of my baking stuff and just needed to wipe stuff down. And apparently I have accumulated tons of candles. I don't know how, but there's a 13 in there too that we didn't even use for Dalton, and that was last year. So there's that. A lot of these little containers that I'm using are from Amazon, and then truthfully, like the one that I'm using right now to put the food coloring in, that I got for Daylin when she was probably a toddler, and I had that in the playroom to hold their like colored pencils and stuff. So I mean, you can use any container you want. I'm just like a container person. That sounds really weird. I just like the look of it being more organized. But I basically am taking everything off these shelves in my pantry and I am bumping it up. So the bottom shelf right now is all of our breakfast things. The middle shelf is more of our snack stuff. And then the top shelf was my baking things. But I just felt like I could kind of rework it to hold more, I guess. Like, I like our house. I really do. It's just, I know I say it 100 times. It's just an old house. And so there's a lot of things that I wish I could change about it. But the space in this house, we do have quite a bit of space. The bedrooms, that's a different story. I wish we could like just blow up each bedroom just a little bit more, and then I think we would be a lot happier. But we're just like kind of outgrowing this house in a sense. But I love this pantry space. When we first moved into this house, the pantry had a table and these two like bench seats on it, and I have a picture of my kids like sitting in this like breakfast nook. It just wasn't, it was super cute, it just like didn't fit our family kind of thing. Like the space could be used for something different, and I'm pretty sure that little area is an add-on. And the floor is like slightly slanted, so it's really hard for me to put up shelves and stuff. I have been really wanting to redo my pantry and kind of rework the shelving and stuff. It's just, again, it's one of those things, it's like you start the project and then I know that there's going to be other things, you know, that come into play when you start a project in an old house. So I'm just kind of leaving it for now. It's fine. Dalton had this like cubby space, that little white shelfy thing that I'm setting all the drinks on. He took it out of his bedroom, and so I scooped it up and popped it in the pantry, and I have been using it as a little drink station. And then I'm taking the very bottom shelving. I used to have what did I have on there? All the breakfast stuff. And now I put everything from the cabinet that I'm putting the plates in. So I'm literally like moving everything around, and my family is gonna like just roll their eyes at me. But you know what? They love me and they accept it when I move crap around all the time. I actually did need some more space in the cabinets. I brought some glass plates up because we were running out of our plastic plates. And so instead of going out and buying new, I just went in the basement and kind of cleaned up the prettier like glass plates. So I just needed some more space. So after I got all of that finished, I went outside to wash my Tahoe, and then I couldn't get my pressure washer to work. I don't know if something was like slightly frozen in there, but I was so frustrated. I decided to come back inside and start some dinner. By the way, that is apple juice. Sometimes you just gotta drink out of a cute fancy little cup and put some good rap music on and cook dinner, you know what I mean? But I am starting this bourbon chicken. This is one recipe that is very easy. I don't feel like any recipe that I make is really that difficult. I try to keep things very simple, but this bourbon chicken and fried rice, I legit just cooked whatever vegetables that I had. I threw in some frozen rice that I bought. I added some sweet corn. I don't know, it was in my freezer and it needed to be cooked. And then you just cook the chicken. You make the sauce that you saw on that recipe card earlier, and you throw that sauce in with the cooked chicken. And then I just kind of add the rice and the veggies in a bowl, and then you do the chicken on top, and that was it. But oh my gosh, you guys, I have been watching Tell Me Lies. Yeah, I don't watch that around my kids. If you know, you know. But so tonight we are not eating together. I'm not one of those like, oh my gosh, we need to eat dinner every night. We just kind of go like, I don't know, night by night. I'm not like a stickler of having to sit down and eat dinner together. If it works out and we're all hungry at the same time, which that's the main issue, we will. But I've kind of just accepted that some nights I will sit in the living room by myself and watch a show, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And everyone kind of just wants to do their own thing. And then there's other nights where I go room by room, and I'm like, dinner's in 10 minutes, dinner's in 10 minutes, and we all sit at the table. So I feel like it's really just about moderation, you know? I also bought the ingredients for these really, really simple heart-shaped cherry pies. My husband really likes them as well, and so I was kind of making them for him. You use store-bought pie crust and then the cherry pie filling, and you cut the heart shapes out. I mean, you can kind of see the process. That's just an egg wash on top, so it's just an egg and water, and then you sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top, which almost forms like, it makes it more like a crispy crust on top, and then you put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. I probably should have done it a little bit longer, but I am now cleaning up dinner and going to end out my evening. I always, after I clean up dinner, I go outside and take care of my animals, my little babies, my feathered babies. They are doing great. My ducks are getting along with my chickens, so it makes my life a little bit easier. Oh my gosh, they're so freaking cute. I completely misjudged how cold it was out here. Gosh, way too cold. Okay, bye, good night. Good to go. That is going to be it for me for today. I don't know, today felt kind of random, but I hope you guys were able to get some motivation and some stuff done as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.